Oh,
Good banter. That's some good banter. Hello and welcome. We are here.
Back.
Episode 13
Wow.
of Good Banter with Tom Siegert, Timmy Sargent, and Evan Hocking, Ivan Hicking.
Hicko.
We're doing it. We are here, and we got a big announcement right off the Evan. Let's throw to you
All right.
for some big news.
All right, last week on the show, I teased, I thought, bang, I was waiting to hear the news. I've never bought anything in my life. The most expensive thing I bought was a wedding ring for my fiancée.
Okay.
$12,000. That is a
Jesus.
I know, it's worth more than our cars, but we are officially, we're in debt. We're in debt for the next 25 years. We did it. I'm moving to Mornington, Tom.
You did it.
I
you
did it. I
bought
did it.
your own little patch of the earth. Well done.
Jesus.
Is it a relief?
It's
are you,
a little
are you
drug
shitting
den
yourself,
in
or-
Mornington.
But it's home.
It's home, yeah.
And you can do what you want. You can stick things on the wall. You can bloody put a pot plant. You can shit in the kitchen. You can do what you want. It's yours.
Can I borrow, if you're watching on the YouTube, can I borrow one of your jumpers?
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
first thing I want to stick on the wall.
Stick a couple of
Maybe I'll
jumpers
frame
on.
a few of my jumpers and we'll bang them on the walls. Kristen
Yeah.
will love that. So,
Yeah, no, they love it. Women love memorabilia on the wall.
how
That's
it
one thing I've
worked,
learned.
because last week I was waiting on a call, and actually on the way home I got the fucking call from Pete, our real estate agent, and he
Oh.
said, mate, you put the offer in, the vendors, they said yes. So what happened was we went down on the Tuesday last week. Oh, it's going to be all hard because we're recording. We recorded on a Wednesday, but whatever happened, we went down and he
No
said,
one's going to pull us up on that shit.
no one's going to pull us up on this shit. No one. So we went down. We checked the house out again because I'd seen it on the Saturday. Kristen came in on the Tuesday because
Yep.
she had night shift.
Oh,
And
okay.
I didn't want to make a big decision like that without her consent. It's all about consent. We know that, fellas. And
yeah.
so we went in there and he said, well, we've had an offer, okay, but if you want to go for it, feel free. You can put an offer in. So I said, fuck it, let's do it. We went to, I emailed him, I texted him the offer, and basically within the day, it was a roller coaster when I was doing this
Yep.
last week, and bang, later that night, he said, mate, the vendor said yes, we've blown the other offer out of the water.
Which is a bit disappointing. You don't want to
we've
blow it
probably
out.
paid
You don't
too
wanna-
much.
We don't want to blow it out
Well,
by
they
too
got
much.
back to us pretty close. So I
Have
think,
you? It's not official. I don't think it's official until you've got the photo out the front with the sold.
I know.
Until that's on Facebook.
And I always used to think that was a bit wanky. It was probably because I never had
until
a
you do
house.
it.
Probably never, because I
Until
never
you
had
do
a
it.
house.
Oh,
This was
I don't think you can not do it.
when I got the call. Like, you go, yes, we've got debt, but I'm like, fuck, we're going to be in our own joint. I've lived
Yeah.
in shitholes. I lived in a garage for a bit in Port Douglas.
Okay.
3 months I lived in a garage.
Crikey.
First few nights I was paying $30 a week.
$30 a week. I lived in a shipping container in Batlow at a caravan park. I was paying $120 a week
You get
to live
ripped
with
off.
3 other blokes in a
Shipping container.
shipping container, and it was either freezing or fucking hot. There was no in between. I've lived in Canada in a barn with no electricity and no
Okay.
running water.
Okay.
I too have lived in some shitholes. But you now, that's never going to
Yeah.
happen again.
No.
Hopefully.
As long as we can pay off this bloody mortgage, we'll be right.
Nah,
But,
you'll be right.
Yes. So,
Interest rates are an all-time low, and bloody flying.
so we're in
Now's
there.
the
we're
time.
in there. 38, and I've finally done something mature
good
and
on you.
adult. So
Good on you.
2021, bought a house, gonna get married. Don't worry about the kid.
No, wait off on the kids.
Wait off on the kid.
No rush.
Yeah, but we're in there. We're in there. So the peninsula, mate, I talked about. I wanted to get down there. And we're
Yeah,
there.
it's a
We're
beautiful
there.
part of the world.
It's lovely.
It's a beautiful part of the world, but there's a fair bit to talk about. There was one little story that I actually said in an earlier podcast, but something went a bit fucking haywire with the
Sound, it was a bit all over the joint.
bit all over the joint. So this is going to seem like this is not a great segue to this story, but it's a story that has been told. We had to cut it out. Sound was shit. I don't know what we're talking about. Throwing shit. weren't we?
Throwing stuff.
Throwing
I think it started.
shit.
You were talking about the Santa who threw a lolly,
Ah,
smashed the kid's teeth
yeah,
out. I
yeah.
mentioned throwing the cricket ball at my
It's a
brother.
Good yarn.
Great yarn.
Couple of good yarns.
Smashing teeth.
Anyway, so this was so this little story happened when I was in year 10 at Wodonga High School, and we're in Galvin Hall at the disco, at the year 10 disco. Oh no, the school disco. So it's you got year 7s running around, you got year 12s. It's full on.
It's a big mix
DJ.
at that age as well,
so
isn't
that's
it?
a
Remember
big,
in year
big age
7,
gap.
you'd see a year 12 dude, and you're like, fuck. And you'd see, I think we might have mentioned, the chicks just seem like women.
Oh, and the blokes was
And you're
like
just
men.
a little kid.
Mm.
And if they gave you shit,
Oh,
you
it was
were
terrifying.
not talking back to them.
It was terrifying. So, as you do, so we were year 10, probably fairly mature for year 10, and
Course you were.
we had, as you do, it was a full house. We snuck some quite a few eggs in each. Probably see where this is going. And
Poached eggs.
not poached. No,
Okay, no.
just raw eggs from the supermarket.
Great.
So we've taken
Cage
Oh,
free? Or
Not sure. Probably we would have got the cheapest ones.
cheapest
Yeah.
cage? Yeah.
So we've got a few in our jackets, the pockets of our jackets, and
That's
what
dangerous.
we do. Oh, it's dangerous. Yeah, we're sort of walking around carefully. So it's a full house, like 1,200 kids at the school.
Oof.
Fair chunk of them are at this disco. Music's cranking, DJ's up on the stage, place is rocking, lights dark, and so we would just get these eggs and we just lob them over our head, and you just hear this and there'd just be this chaos about 15 metres away, and then there'd be everyone would spread. And,
What happened there?
What's going on? We'd run over and go, oh, what's going on here? And then we'd give it 15, 20 minutes and pull out, fucking lob another one over.
Great.
Just good fun.
Great fun.
I think we'd had a couple of UDLs in the park
brilliant.
before we went down there. We were charged. Things were going well. Life was good. Had a good little group going. We're having fun.
Let's go.
Fun. And anyway, someone said, "Let's biff the egg at the DJ," and I'm not a great. I've got a real custard arm.
I've
Always
seen your
have.
arms with your. Well, you wear long sleeve a lot of the time, but I've seen your arms. There's fuck all in them.
Yeah, there's not much.
Dodgy shoulders.
Shitty soldiers,
Soldiers.
shit soldiers, and I think, and techniques more than anything. I think.
Did you ever play cricket?
No, I hate cricket.
Throwing,
Yeah.
I was all right early, but then my shoulders are a bit dodgy as well.
Yeah,
I used
well,
to do the
I don't think my
underarm.
shoulders were dodgy in year 10, so I think it was more technique. My technique was just shit. Anyway, so I thought I'll chuck it, because it's sort of
never gonna make it.
I'm never going to make it, but I'll still be known as the guy that had a shot at the DJ. It's a win-win. So I'm back. So Galvin Hall was a basketball court. So it's probably the length of a basketball court, maybe from the 3-throw line at one end. And probably the length of a basketball court because he was up on the stage.
And who is this DJ? Is he just one of the kids, or is some guy out of town?
He was a fairly well-known DJ in Albury-Wodonga. He did a lot of weddings. He was a bit of about as close to a celebrity as you could get. He used to do stuff on local radio.
Nice.
He was a big name. They were lucky to get him, but I guess Wednesday night, midweek, probably not.
Didn't have a heap of work on.
So he's DJing this up on stage, minding his own business, probably playing your Love Shacks, your Abbas, all the classics and Bee Gees. So I'm
Deserves a fucking egg.
So I've got the old egg at the back of the stage, and I've gone, here we go. So I've waited for a little till there was a bit of space in front of me, lined him up, and the moment it left my hand, I just thought, oh fuck, this is online. This is a dead-eye dick. And it was just like, and I don't know whether it was because that
strobe light,
but it seemed to go in slow motion.
Yeah.
And so I was only seeing it every split second, and it was just strobe lighting its way to this poor bloke. He's just up there trying to earn a couple $100 on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it hit him fair in the Adam's apple.
Oh,
And it just exploded. And he's not thinking, oh, that's an egg. Someone's throwing an egg.
No.
He's thought
Someone's
fucking shot me. So he's just let out this scream, and the eggs. So he must have had the So this is going back, I don't know what year it was, but he must have had the decks going.
Yes.
So
with the proper records.
The proper records, because it's all the shit and egg and yolk and shell and shit has gone down onto his onto his deck. So it's got and the shells scratching up his and he's fallen. He's got up, grabbed the mic. Who the fuck threw that? And I've just felt right straight away. I thought, this is no good.
Yep.
This is no good. Yeah. So anyway, this so the people have run to him. The lights have come on. The whole place is lit up like it's daytime.
No.
And everyone's going, what's going on? What's the eggs all over the joint? We're fucking. We're like.
Let's get rid of these things.
What was it like? We're like Shawshank dropping eggs out the bottom of our jeans and shit. So this is no good. So anyway, and this girl she was a year older than me, and she was beautiful, and we all loved her. And she was and she was the leader of the school social committee. So this was her gig. This was her big one for the year.
Shining moment.
She'd worked hard to get this going, and I just loved her. I adored her. Everyone did. All the boys did.
What was it? Was she was obviously hot and great
smart,
personality, smart.
Yeah,
just
she was
a
just
real.
so far out of our league. Like she wouldn't have known who I was. I really.
She wouldn't have known.
I don't think she would have.
No, probably not.
She was about to. So she's got up on stage, grabbed the mic, and she is pissed.
Yeah.
Like she's worked pretty hard to organise this. This is a big fundraiser.
What was the DJ's name?
I think it was. Look,
you don't want to say.
I don't want to say.
Okay.
I don't want to say. But
say what it.
Anyone from Wodonga is going to put 2 and 2 together.
Okay.
For what it is, and he's certainly going to know.
Are you still mates with this guy?
The DJ.
Are you mates with him? No.
No, fuck no.
Oh no.
I threw an egg at him. Have you been listening to this story?
But you know where, did you know him at the time?
I knew of him. Yeah, I'd seen him.
No.
No. But
It's not one of those
he later
things.
started. Oh, well, I guess he later, when we got older, he started doing the 18th and all the 21st. So we got to know him, but I never. And a couple of times I thought when I was pissed, I thought, I should mention it, and then I was like,
Don't.
There's not enough
Don't go
time to pass that he could go. You know what? I can see his side.
Was it tragedy plus time equals comedy?
Yeah, but there was
This is no.
He was never, all the time in the world wasn't going to think, maybe he had a point throwing that egg at me.
He's had to have an operation. He's had Adam's apple cut out.
So, anyway, so this girl's got on stage. She's pissed, and she said, all right, and it was like, I think it started at 7:30 and went till 11.
Yep.
It was like, it was 8:30. It was early days. And and she said, there's someone here has ruined our annual disco rah-rah, and the lights are going to stay on until someone comes up here and says that they were the ones that threw the egg.
Yep.
And I'm just going, this is no good. So everyone's sitting down at this stage, and word is spreading like wildfire.
Tom Siegert.
Yeah,
It was Tom
don't
Siegert.
tell anyone it was Tom Siegert. Okay, I won't. Don't tell anyone it was Tom Siegert. And it was.
It's
I could just hear.
It's like when someone says, "Don't look around now." What do? You look around.
Oh, absolutely.
So everyone says, "Don't say
have
it was
to.
Tom Siegert." Hey, it was Tom Siegert.
So the whole joint knows it's. Anyway, so we sat there for an hour, and then eventually you saw her sort of chatting to the principal, and then.
Is he a scary principal?
Oh, terrifying!
Yeah,
he was a scary principal. So she's got up and she said, "All right, the light's going to go back out. The disco is going to continue, but just let it be known that we're going to find you.
You're on notice.
You're on notice. We're going to find you.
We're going to hunt you
and you're
down."
sort of, and the DJ's reluctantly, he's picking eggshells out of his neck, and he's got fucking blood dripping down his
He looks
shirt.
like Frankenstein. He's got bolts. He's got one of those neck braces on.
He's having a shit night.
Yeah. What's he thinking? He's going, "You got me here. I'm not going to keep playing." Jamming up your ass, but he kept playing. Good on him. He's
good on him. He obviously loves DJing, so he's got back up. Anyway, so I got home, didn't sleep, and I had a mate staying over at my house that night. I'm just going, and he's like, even he was going, you're fucked tomorrow.
You're fucked up.
We had to go to school tomorrow.
Oh, no.
Got home, but got to school. We used to shoot, get to school early, play a bit of basketball, shooting trying to shoot hoops, but I could.
He's off. Jeez, Tom's off today.
Tom's
isn't it?
got
Hasn't
something on
hit
his
the
mind,
board
and all of a
once.
sudden it was over the speaker. Boom. Tom Siegert to the principals, and it was just like
I'm it.
that scene out
That's
of
it.
that movie Dead Man Walking, where he's and it was just like that walk to the principal's office, and I think I got a week suspension.
That's not too bad
for
that.
I could have like if I hit him in the eye or something, I could have done some serious damage.
Definitely.
So look, I'll take that.
So week suspension, yeah, that's. I used to be shit scared. What I did once, I reckon it was year 8.
Okay.
And for some reason, like year 8, I was trying to be cool, trying to be a bit of a. I don't know what. I got this idea because we used to have locker bays at high school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we had 2 locker bays, year 8 locker bays. And it was the last day of term. Like, I don't know what term it was. So we had 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
And I, for some reason, bought this concoction of egg, of curry powder.
Okay.
I put it in like an ice cream container.
Was it the end of the year, or because that's
No, it was just term 2, mate.
Just term 2. Just
2. I thought,
it caused a bit of
let's
shit.
go out with a bang. They've pulled the locker bay doors down. No one else knew I had this shit. So I bought I think I bought some eggs and I bought this concoction. It had everything that was in Mum's cupboard
So you've just done it
in
off your
there.
own
And
bat.
I thought, fuck, I had flour. So flour was, I said, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah,
There was flour. I threw this egg concoction. Mates were throwing eggs. So this locker bay looked like ground zero, like the World Trade Center's just come down. And I've done that and then obviously left. So I've got 2 weeks to mull over. What the fuck have I done?
Yeah.
Because then I'm thinking, everyone saw it was me. The locker bays were fucked. Like, I've got 2 weeks to think, fuck, someone's going to dob me in.
For sure.
And I ended up, nothing ever happened, but I remember one of the blokes, he'd stayed down. He was a nutcase. He
Stayed down year 8.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he should have been in year 9. He was a big unit. Like one day, I was fucking around in class and he got me in a sleeper hold in a headlock and I
Put you to sleep.
blacked out for a bit.
Okay, so he's got some anger issues.
And I sort of, I wonder why he stayed down. But I sort of came to and he goes, and I'm like, oh, God. And my mates are just laughing at me. I'm sort of looking like I've just gone 10 rounds with Mike Tyson. But anyway, I was fucking around another time and he goes, mate, fucking shut up or I'm going to tell you what you did in the locker base. I'm like, all right, mate, all right. No worries.
So
no
it
worries.
never came in.
It never really happened. Like once those... the locker bay doors were down. But I'm just thinking the whole 2 weeks because I'm bad like that. I'll do something, then I get the regret, the guilt. And I'm just like, oh, what was I thinking?
No, well, you weren't thinking.
I wasn't.
Evan, you weren't thinking. It's locker bays. You've had some fun with the locker bays. I remember. This is probably similar age, maybe year 7, year 8. A good mate of mine. I think you've met Matt Cosentino.
Yes.
Yep. The one and only Italian in Wodonga at the time, and he was
apart from his family,
he was his parents. He great guy. Good. He was actually caught up with him over Christmas, but yeah, he did a lot of dumb shit. So I think it was year 7 or 8. So we had these square lockers, right?
Yep.
Square lockers, locker banks. And
how many in it?
Oh, probably 30 or so.
Okay, so we had the ones that we were talking were longer ones.
Like
so there was one on top, one down the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
no,
if you're down the bottom,
we were probably 4 by 6 or something.
Okay.
And anyways, so once upon a time, these would have been key locks, right?
Yep.
But obviously, you couldn't trust kids with keys.
No.
Because they'd be losing their keys left, right, and centre.
Yep.
So there was no longer keys. But there was
Combination.
just this hole.
Oh.
There was a hole where the key lock obviously used to go.
Yep.
And now someone had put on like locks, and you just had these combination locks. You know,
Yeah.
the ones you buy from
Yeah.
Bunnings or whatever. And you would go, 3 to the left, 4 to the right, rah rah.
Do you remember your first combination?
No.
So I remember mine. I got it in year 7. I remember that. That was a big thing. And
Yep.
it was 15. Then you had to go 37, 15. That was
that's
mine.
an easy
I remember that.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, it was still not a bad memory.
That's a remarkable memory.
It's a great memory. I mean, I could be just bullshitting, but for the
I'm
story.
not going to check up on it.
Hey, yeah.
So everyone's now using this combination lock, but every locker has a hole in it, this little hole.
Yeah.
So this guy was giving Connie the shits. He had a bit of a temper, Connie, and so he's got his deodorant can. And he's emptied an entire can of deodorant into the hole. So he's just got the little nozzle and gone. So he sprayed this thing. He sprayed this thing for about probably 5 minutes, just emptying a whole can.
A lot.
So, and this little area would have only of the locker would have only been 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters, like just a cube. And so then he's got a match and and got a match and just popped the match into the hole. And I don't know what the dickhead thought was going to happen, but it has just gone fucking kaboom and blew him back. And so blew the front off the locker and blew the side out of the locker. And and the teachers wasn't too hard to work out who it was because he was
he was the only one
with his face on fire and the front of his shirt.
No hair.
Yeah, so he was literally caught red-handed.
Yeah.
He had burns all over him and shit. So, and he got suspended. So,
yeah, fair enough.
So that was good times. So,
did you ever have the in science? You had because you used to put the Bunsen burners on.
Yeah.
So you had the little things that you turn the gas on.
Yeah.
Isn't that just a disaster waiting to happen?
Surely
you couldn't do that these days.
We used to We used
to get the match
and just light the fucking thing.
Turn the gas on.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised more high schools haven't just burnt down.
Yeah. Remember they had those just those bottles of would have like a dead rat and shit in there and a snake in like I don't know
what they used to preserve it,
but it was fairly rank stuff.
Yeah. You wonder how you look back now and you just think what we've just spoken about. How did they not get just smashed?
No one ever smashed those.
Probably too.
Another one talking. Unless have you got?
High school. You say something else. I'll try and think about high school shit where I've fucked up.
So this is what made me think about you leaving the shit with the flour and all that.
Oh, yeah.
So we were in year 12. Had Mad Monday. Markup Day. Had Markup Day.
Yeah, I got a Markup Day after this.
And we couldn't. We were all no good at school. But we managed to prepare quite well for Markup Day. So we got this glass
waiting 12
bottle,
years for this.
This glass bottle, and I reckon it must have been like late July. We got this glass bottle, and it was a big bottle. And we put basically anything that would age very poorly in the sun. So we had it was eggs, it was meat. We put dog shit in there. There was a bit of urine. We put some tuna.
Yeah, great.
And it was just milk. And
milk
was sort of the big chunk of milk. And we stirred it all up and put it on this guy's roof. And it basically sat there for 4 or 5 months just in the in the extreme Wodonga heat. And it's like, it's 40 every day up there.
Yeah.
So anyway, come to Markup Day. We've taken this thing, and we were thinking this is going to be fairly rank come Markup Day, but not in our wildest nightmares did we expect it would be anything like it was. I remember we took the lid off it, and it was
like the locker.
We were all dry reaching going, oh Jesus, this is we've gone too far. And I remember this one poor kid who's a lovely kid, but he was a mouth, and he was, because the big thing was you basically drove past the school in the van, and everyone was throwing eggs at our van.
Well, that sounds a bit dodgy there.
Yeah,
drive past the school in the van.
Everyone was throwing eggs at the van, and we were throwing eggs out of the van. It was just chaos. And anyway, so this one guy young kid being particularly mouthy, and we've got him, and we poured this this concoction over him. And I just remember the
Have you told this on the podcast before? I don't know. Keep going. It's ringing a bell. It's ringing a bell. Sorry to fuck up your story if you haven't.
And anyway, he was sick. This poor guy, lovely kid, still really nice guy to this day. But yes, it was bad news. It was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. So what happened? Was there any repercussions from your Markup Day?
I wasn't allowed to go to our graduation.
Okay.
So, yeah. So,
Yeah. Well, it's probably really karma, Tommy, because
yeah.
2 years earlier when you threw the egg, you fucked up there. You didn't really learn your lesson there,
I was
did
too
you?
bad, but when you sort of put it on paper,
You start putting shit together and you start going, why did I even go to school?
Yeah, and I was at one stage I was meant to be doing this speech for Year 12.
How'd you get that?
I don't know. Obviously,
Popular.
I just could put a sentence together and thought I'd be able to. So I had this great sort of speech worked out, and I was meant to be doing it at the graduation, but then
What would have been the biggest? Imagine if you had done it and you got hit with an egg.
There was
wouldn't
the
have that been
DJ
the greatest? The DJ
I
just
just
comes in.
I just want to hats off to you, DJ.
Well done, mate. That's the ultimate callback.
So didn't go to the graduation, but my Year 12 score didn't really cause for celebration. Anyway, parents were pretty disappointed with me.
Mine was shit ass
career
as well.
prospects had just dried up, and not a great time of the.
Well, our muck-up day, it was probably even on top of yours, because it wasn't just one kid who copped it. It was the whole school copped it. So we did. Did you go back to the school at night and things? Did you have like a party or anything like that?
We were all 18. Our party was pretty much most of the year.
Okay.
So
I was younger. So we sort of went to someone's house, had a house party, and then we had all these plans. Like people had gone out and bought dynamic lifter. Even earlier, they'd put like fish guts in some of the books.
In some of the books?
In the library, which, we hadn't gone in the library much, but they made sure they got in to bloody put the fish guts into it. So you can imagine how that was, and trying to find which book it was in.
You can see why they tried to ban it.
You can. And after what we did, someone else, in Year 12, we had a Year 12 common room.
Yep.
That had all the lockers in it.
Yep.
And someone managed, I don't know, they got a key. I don't know how they got it. They got a key to the common room. So on the night when we went to the school, like there's security guards there and that, and we've got in and we've grabbed the lockers and put them down the hill. There was a massive hill. So we've put them.
So you've taken them out of the
common room, put them down the hill. Someone ripped up the cricket pitch. One of the guys put super glue in the locks.
Okay.
Another bloke just bought
real clever stuff.
Really destructive and stuff. Now you look back and you go, Jesus Christ! I mean, you go to school and for 12 years and it winds up like that. You look back now and you just go, what the fuck?
The teachers must be so disappointed.
Someone got on the roof and put a pig's head on the satellite dish.
Okay.
So the next day, with all the dynamic lifter, the joint stunk.
What's dynamic lifter?
It's like a fertilizer.
Oh.
You know, when you walk past the garden, you go, whew, that stinks.
That's dynamic lifter.
That's dynamic lifter. So that was all through the garden beds. The joint was a mess, and I apologise to any of my teachers that were listening. I mean, I'm
sure they're used to it.
People. So after that, they said, nah. No more muck-up days. The valedictory dinner was cancelled. So all the good students who look forward to this So I apologise. Right now, I'm a piece of shit. Everyone who, did that I'm not going to mention the school, but I'm a piece of shit. But, wasn't great. Wasn't great. And you look back. Now, I'd never really thought about it till now. I had, but now I'm just like, you idiot.
Yeah, sort of things that seem funny at the time. It
seemed like a good idea at the time. Dad always says that.
It's probably fairly uncalled for.
Yeah.
But what's done's done.
What's done's done.
Yeah.
Do we have anything a bit more positive to end on, Tommy?
No, I reckon she's a pretty negative episode, this one.
I think, we started all right with buying a house. And
that was good.
Mate, there's probably a reason why I haven't bought a house until 38.
Should have finished with buying the house.
I probably should have.
And then it would have been like, he was a bit loose, but he's got his shit sorted.
He's got his shit sorted. Yeah. Well, I mean, I mentioned it because I mentioned to Kristen. The dude rang me. So then I rang Kristen and she goes, oh, God. I said, what are you feeling? She said, I feel sick in the stomach. I'm like, oh. That's no good. She said, "Oh, I had the same feeling when you proposed to me." I'm like, so, I'm like,
God.
what? I know the effect I have on her. So,
Yeah.
but it's excited, nervous,
feeling
that
of-
nervous excitement when you're about to run through the banner and play on grand final day. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
that nervous excitement.
All that sort of, you're in it.
Probably
There's
after,
no way out.
There's no way out now. Yeah, especially
Sorta,
don't
yeah.
listen to this podcast, please.
Anyway, I think that's just
Yeah,
look at
that's
the
it.
old clockety clock. We are at 30 minutes, and we go over a bit. So let's
Wind it.
let's wind it up. Let's
Yeah.
nip this one in the bud. We've had some highs, we've had some
That's
lows.
nice.
Look, it's been an episode. That's
has,
for sure.
mate. Yeah,
it's been a doozy.
Thanks for listening. Once again, get on the Good Banter Instagram page. Get on the YouTube. Check that out. Get on Twitter. Hit us up at reallygoodbanter@gmail.com. And yeah, I mean, that was all over the joint, but we all make mistakes. So don't
Dwell on the past. I think
That's it.
I think that's what we take out of this episode. Don't dwell on the past. If you've made mistakes, just try and make amends. Buy a house.
And just buy a house. See you later.
Bye.